Okay, year 11. The second question, or someone asked about another question from the work. This is question 7 on tangents and normals. And this comes from 2009 HSC question 6c. And usually I remember these, but I can't remember this one. So let's read it. The diagram illustrates the design for a roller coaster. The section RO is a straight line. Okay, so this is a straight line. It has a gradient with a slope of 1.2. Oh, beautiful. The section PQ is also a straight line with a slope of negative 1.8. The section OP is a parabola. Okay, I can see that. With this equation, ax squared plus bx. Now remember, when they say that, a and b are values, so you've got to find them. They're constants. The horizontal distance from the y-axis to P is 30 metres. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, O is at the origin at 0, 0. P is at 30 and some other value, which we're going to have to find if we need to use it. All right, let's read the rest of the question. In order that the ride is smooth, the straight line sections must be tangents to the parabolas that O and P. Okay, that means the gradient of the tangent at this point here at O must be 1.2, and the gradient of the tangent at this point here, P, must be negative 1.8. Now, I know it looks a little bit daunting, but it's not. It's really quite easy. I take my equation of the parabola, ax squared, plus bx, and I just differentiate it as if a and b were numbers, because they are. I'm going to find out what they are. So, y dash is 2ax plus b. Well, that was pretty easy. Now, at O, x equals 0. Okay, so the gradient of the tangent here is 2 times a times 0 plus b. But we also know the gradient of the tangent there is 1.2. Therefore, 1.2, well, 2 times a times 0 is 0 plus b. That means b is 1.2 for the ride to be smooth. We know that now. We don't change it. What about the other point? Well, at P, x equals 30. Remember? There it is. And the gradient of the tangent is negative 1.8. So therefore, negative 1.8 equals 2 times a times 30 plus 1.2, because remember b is now 1.2. I don't have to write b anymore. Let's minus that 1.2, which gives me minus 3, or minus 1.2 over, and 60a. Let's divide by 60, and I get negative 0.05 equals a. So my equation now of this is negative 0.05x squared plus 1.2x. That's the equation. We'll just quickly differentiate that again, because we're going to need to. Y dash, 2 times that, negative 0, I'll write it so you know what I'm doing. So 2 times negative 0.05x plus 1.2, which is negative 0.1x plus 1.2. Now, the second part, I need to find the distance. Well, I can find the y value here by just substituting 30 into my equation. So finding this bit is easy. Finding this bit, however, how am I going to find out how high it is? Well, we know that the tangent there will have a gradient of 0 because it's a top, the vertex. So here we go. At Well, it hasn't got a value, so we'll call it A. At A, the gradient of the tangent must be 0. Therefore, 0 equals negative 0. Negative 0.1 x plus 1.2. So I'm going to minus that 1.2. So minus 1.2 equals negative 0.1x. I'm going to divide by negative 0.1, negative 0.1, and I'm going to get 12 equals x. Now I look at the diagram and I go, well, that sort of makes sense, yeah. P's 30 across. It's a bit further, yeah. So x equals 12. So when x equals 12, y equals, well, let me have a look, negative 0.05 times 12 squared plus 1.2 times 12. Negative 0.05 times 12 squared plus 1.2 times 12. 7.2. So y equals 7.2. So over here at A, we've got 12 and 7.2. Sort of looks right. Okay, and the 7.2 worries me. Now, when x equals 30, y equals negative 0.05 times 30 squared plus 1.2 times 30. So I'll just go back and change my 12 to a 30. I get negative 9. Now, remember, the question just said, find the distance. So the distance equals 7.2 up, plus the absolute value of 9, which is 16.2. Are we talking meters? Is it all in meters? Yes, it is. Let's just check and see if I'm right. Okay, well, there's a 12, and there's a 16.2. Now that was quite a difficult question. You have to really think about that. And you remember that in the new syllabus they're saying they're going to try and make them more practical, so that's a pretty good one to try and work your head around. Anyway, hopefully that helps you a little bit if you were having trouble with that. Good luck.